All right, y'all, welcome. I am back from vacation. I was in Florida for a week. I was at Disney World with my family. I ran the Disney Marathon and finished the Disney Marathon, so I was pretty excited about that. Then spent a week at the parks, running around, walking a bunch. So it was a long and exhausting week. And speaking of vacation, I did put my store on vacation time. So that's using time away on eBay. You can say, hey, during these dates, I'm not going to be available. So on this time away option, as you can see here, you can edit your time away. You can pause your sales, during this time. You can also allow sales during this time. So while you're on vacation, you can be still making sales. I actually don't use that. As nice as it would be to be able to sell things while you're on vacation, I have found that buyers do not notice that your store is in vacation mode. It puts a banner at the top of the order screen telling the buyer, hey, it's not going to be shipped until a week from now or whatever. And I find that even though that banner's there, buyers don't notice it and they get mad because you're not shipping their stuff right away. And so I just don't mess with it. The whole week I was gone, I was not doing any new sourcing. I was not doing any listing, wasn't making any sales. Let's talk about what I do when I get back from vacation. So when I turn vacation mode back on, I don't wait until I get back home to turn vacation mode back on. So I was back on a Saturday and I had vacation mode turn off at midnight on Friday, the day before, because I have 1 day handling time. And so my next day to ship wasn't until Tuesday today because of Martin Luther King Day yesterday. So even though I was still on vacation, I was able to make sales on Friday and Saturday. I got back Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday I have to ship everything today. And during that time, it looks like I grossed $629 and netted $309. And so you can see here, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of last week, I'm gone. I had sales turned back on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It looks like yesterday was a big day. And then here we are at today. So I had a 916% ROI on the stuff that I sold in this half week, a 43% net profit margin. Looks like I had 6 new listings. That was just from yesterday when I got back into the swing of things. I got 6 things listed. And I had 18 sales between Friday and today, which is Tuesday. There's been 3 things that have come up in the past week that are sort of annoying as a seller on eBay. Might be a little bit confusing, things that you'll probably face if you're selling on eBay enough. You're eventually going to run into problem buyers or situations you may not know how to handle. I had 3 of those in the past couple of weeks. The first one here is this buyer opened a payment dispute on a rather expensive item that they bought, a $259 calculator. This is a really bizarre one. This is known to happen. So basically a payment dispute is they're going directly to their credit card and saying like, hey, I didn't authorize this payment. The reason that they put here is interesting though, that the item doesn't match the description in your listing. What had happened, they sent me a message, maybe 2 weeks after they bought it, asking a bunch of questions. And here, I'll show you the message. So they sent me this message here. It says the calculator, many time my husband worked on it. And after he did 3 hours job, everything is deleted from it, something wrong on it. It's not easy to work on the field. And then you put all the work in and delete and said, makes my husband confused. He asked me to contact you. I don't know what to do. I told them, I'm sorry, the calculator works. I'm not an expert in troubleshooting individual calculator problems. It's my job to sell you the calculator, not to troubleshoot any technical problems. And so that's what I told them. I offer free returns, and this was still within the return window. So I sort of expected that they were going to open up a return, but they didn't. And instead, they opened up that payment dispute, which I think was a poor decision on their part. I'm most likely going to win this dispute. They're saying it's because the item doesn't match the description in your listing. I, of course, refuted that. I said it does match the description. Everything was working. And in fact, in my listing, you can see the calculator working. So I submitted a response. I said, hey, I think this buyer is trying to scam me. Are they trying to scam me? I don't really know, but they're trying to get their money back for reasons that are not my fault. I told eBay as my case, like, hey, this was working prior. It's not my job to troubleshoot a calculator. If they would have just opened a return and returned it back, it would have been totally fine. I would have accepted it and I would have been able to resell it, but they're not returning it. And instead they're opening a dispute. And so of course I'm going to refute all of that. I'm not really worried about this one though. This has happened in the past. What I think will happen here is that even though eBay may side with the buyer, they're going to pay the buyer back not out of my account. And so kind of sucks. Like, I'd rather this buyer not get their money back and get to keep the calculator, but at least it most likely will not come from my bank account. And so I'll let y'all know what happens, but that's what I think will happen with this one. So here's another one that came up. So I sold a Department 56 little village here. She says here, I refused the package at the post office because it looked like it had been run over. The post office sent it back to you. I'm inquiring how the refund process, I guess they left off the word, works. I said, hey, sorry to hear about that. It's a shame that our packages get treated so poorly sometimes. I went ahead and initiated a full refund to you, and I will open up an insurance claim with USPS so that I will be refunded as well. Have a great day. So this is another one. I did some light checking to make sure that this person wasn't just totally trying to pull one over on me. So first, I confirmed that it was being returned to sender, so I can check the tracking number here. It does say return to sender. So this buyer did not actually get the item. I believe them in this case that it probably was, was severely damaged. I went ahead and refunded them in full, and then I did open up a case with the post office because this was shipped with either Ground Advantage or Priority, and those come with insurance built into them. And so I'm going to get my money back. It will take probably 6 to 8 weeks before I do, but USPS does pay this out. And so you just go to USPS.com or do a Google search for like USPS submit an insurance claim. I think this one will work out just fine. And this is one where I just, it made sense to side with the buyer because there was a paper trail showing that what they were saying was true. And, it's not their fault that the packages are getting destroyed along the way. It's also not my fault. And so they'll get their money back. I'll get my money back. Everyone will be happy and we'll move on with our lives. Let's jump into the top 10 sales of this short week after my vacation. Coming in at number 10 is this Vintage Jerseys Dead Stock t-shirts. This is a brand new t-shirt from the 80s that still had the tags on it, as you can see there. I got it at Salvation Army for $4 back in this summer. And this is just a blank t-shirt. It sold for $22.49 free shipping. I ended up netting $11.15 on that. That's a 279% ROI on that. And I think, people buy these dead stock vintage t-shirts probably because they're going to be printing stuff on them their own. And so you can go out, you can buy new t-shirts to do prints on them, but some people want old vintage t-shirts to do prints on. And I'm guessing that's what they did in this situation. That was the 10th best flip of this short week after vacation. Coming in at number 9 is this Patagonia Capilene shirt. This is like a base layer. Goes underneath a shirt, or that goes underneath a fleece, that goes underneath a jacket. So they're just layering with this type of thing. Patagonia obviously is a great brand. This took 7 months to sell. It's the right time, right? I came back from 80-degree weather in Florida to -6-degree weather here in St. Louis, and so I could use a base layer like this. My net return on it was $11.34, and it took 7 months to sell for the 9th best flip of the week. Coming in at number 8 is this vintage 1970s Wilson T3000 tennis racket. Here's something I completely forgot I even had. Where did I get it? Oh, I got it at the Goodwill bins, and so I just probably paid around $3 for this. They charged by the weight there. This was an international order going all the way to Olomouc, Czech Republic, which is a place that I've actually been, a small town in Czech Republic, strangely enough. So it was kind of fun to see this one get sold all the way halfway across the world there. $29.99 free shipping. I ended up making $11.61 on the deal for the 8th best flip of the week. Again, I just completely forgot this thing was in my inventory, so it's a nice little surprise to get things like that out the door. Coming in at number 7 is this Oster food steamer. So I got this not that long ago, 26 days ago, Salvation Army. I paid $13. Wow, I paid quite a bit for that. $49.99 free shipping. Shipping was a little expensive, $17.23. The net return was $12.39, and the ROI was 95%. I think I bought this thinking I would part it out because the parts do go for a decent amount, but everything was there. It was in really good condition. I said, I'll just sell it in one unit like that. So I probably made a little bit less money than I was hoping to, but it was a quicker sale. Coming in at number 6 is this Nordic Ware egg waffle iron. So these egg waffles, you probably would recognize them. They come out looking like a bunch of little eggs. I bought this at a Salvation Army for $6 7 months ago. It sold for $39.98. That's $29.99, $9.99 in shipping. My net return on it was $16.17. Before I sold it, I did try to make bubble waffles, and I made the largest mess possible. It went everywhere. It took like an hour to clean all of the stuff off the stove. So I didn't try it again. I just put it back downstairs in my inventory, and it sold couple months later. So $16.17, 270% ROI on that one. Nordic Ware is also just a really good brand to look out for. A lot of it's made in the US. They also make bundt cake pans. And so a warning on that, if you try to sell a bundt cake pan that is not Nordic Ware brand, you cannot use the term bundt, B-U-N-D-T. That is a trademark term from Nordic Ware. It's not a universal term. It's like Kleenex, for example. So they will take your listing down if you do that. Nordic Ware is pretty hardcore about keeping an eye on eBay listings. And so, but this one was good to go. It was a nice little flip. Coming to number 5 is this vintage 90s Adidas jacket. Took 7 months again from a garage sale, $2 over the summer. Net return was $17.63, 882% ROI. That was the 5th best flip of the week. Nothing much more to say about this, just sort of a somewhat generic vintage Adidas jacket. It took 7 months to sell, and I made $17 on it. So what else do you need? Coming in at number 4 is this vintage Russian soccer jerseys. This was an unbranded soccer jersey. It went for $29.49 total. I ended up netting $19.26 for the 4th best flip of this short week. Purchased it this summer, but took a while to list it. It only took a month to sell after it was listed. So soccer jerseys do really well, especially if they're branded with one of the major brands like Umbro or Nike or Adidas, things like that. But even when they're unbranded, they do pretty well, especially if they're vintage. Coming in at number 3 is this vintage NASCAR baseball hat here. This one sold pretty quickly, 14 days, got it at a estate sale, only paid $1 for it. It was in pretty rough condition when I got it, but I soaked it in some OxyClean and it ended up turning out really nice. This pattern right here is actually a really valuable pattern that you want to look for in vintage hats. It's called the shark tooth, and you see these kind of waves of shark fins or shark teeth going there across the top like that. This one sold for $31.94. I think the NASCAR type hats, the shark tooth NASCAR hats, are not as good as, say, an NFL team or an NBA team, for example. But it's still, it's sold in 2 weeks for $31, and I ended up making $22.72 for the 3rd best flip of the week. Coming in at number 2 is this vintage unbranded cast iron Dutch oven. And so I got this at a flea market. I paid up for it. I paid $20 for it. And it took 6 months to sell, but finding the right buyer, $99 free shipping. I ended up netting $51.70, a 259% ROI. Not horrible to ship. These things are heavy, obviously, but $14.09, only $14 to ship, so not bad at all. You definitely want to check to make sure they don't wobble, and so put it on a flat surface and move it around. Make sure that there's no wobble on there. People will return them if they wobble. This one had no wobble though, so good to go. And yeah, sold for $100. Great little sale for the 2nd best flip of this short week. Coming in at number 1 is another fun one. That's another one I just completely forgot that I had. This was in my inventory for 6 months. I bought it at a flea market. It was in a case with a bunch of other camera equipment, and this is black and white film. It was produced in 2008, and so it was past its expiration, but still it sold for $99.98. That's $90 plus $9.99 in shipping. My net return on it after shipping and all fees was $81.53. That's an 8,153% ROI on that. This film, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a big expert on film. I've not done a ton of research, but I remember being very surprised when I saw the comps on this 10-roll pack of Kodak T-Max 400 black and white film. This wasn't even what I bought the product for, right? I bought a camera, and then along with that camera, there were some accessories and other things in this package of film that probably, I don't even remember what the camera was, but it probably sold for more than the camera itself. So great thing to look out for, vintage film, especially if it's new in the package like this, especially if it's black and white. Really cool thing to find, and a nice surprise to wake up to 6 months after you bought it and be reminded like, hey, you bought this great thing and it finally sold. So that was the best flip of the week. Let's jump back in and see how we did. Again, $629 gross income, $309 net income for that short Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday worth of sales here. But back into it, back into listing, back into sourcing. Hopefully these numbers are going to bounce back pretty quickly after being on vacation. That's it. Thank you. If you like these types of videos, I do What Sold videos like this every week. You can click on one of these 2 right above my head for the last 2 weeks of What Sold videos, and we will see you next week. Thank you.